Hello everybody, sorry about the craziness, but this is our first event of its type. My name is Cecil Hickman. I'm the project leader for Dog Tags Navigators. We help with the paperwork for veterans to get their claims done, and we have we think the only medical evidence researcher in the country. We have journalists involved in helping veterans do their paperwork. We have other veterans who speak. I don't know if David Peters is here. No? At any rate, we have veterans who are able to talk to other veterans. So today we're going to unveil something unique, I think, in which the whole community, starting last Saturday, assisted in the painting of a mural that does several things. I'm going to defer to the person who's going to explain most of this in 2 seconds. I'm going to introduce you to Deirdre Healy from the Center for Civic Engagement from the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth. And it was her efforts that allowed us to get the grant money in order to make this mural. There's Dave Peters out there. Dave Peters, can you come in the shot back here, please? If you can. John Clark. We need the Coast Guard here. I don't know why we need the Coast Guard here.
But they save people.
Okay, and then we've got another veteran coming up here of distinction, the Mayor, John Mitchell. Thank you very much for coming here. All right, let's get in the shot, everybody. We're going to introduce you now to Deirdre Healy. Thank you.
Mayor John.
Thank you, Cecil, and welcome everyone. I first just need to have a disclaimer here. I don't think I can take credit for this project at all. In fact, it's a collaborative. It's a collaborative called South Coast Serves, and it's led by the Ladue Center for Civic Engagement. And we are building the infrastructure for service and volunteerism in the region, and we were happy to respond to a grant from the Mass Service Alliance, who is looking for projects that would honor not only 9/11 as a day of service and remembrance, but include working with veterans, for veterans, as well as remembering that actually tomorrow we will be celebrating the 20th anniversary of AmeriCorps. So that's a lot of things to get done in one project, but luckily we have the collaboration of over 40 community-based organizations that were able to pull off a project that indeed did that. And what you'll see in a little while, I think some of you have had a preview, is a mural project that was actually inspired by the community. It was inspired by AmeriCorps members as well as community members who were looking to think about veteran service and what it means to our community, as well as to provide a service to dog tag navigators. So what we have is actually a mobile mural that Cecil and his crew will be able to take to various events to have notice of what their organization is doing and bring attention to the important work that they're doing. So before we go any further, I do want to introduce the woman who wears lots of hats and does lots of wonderful things for our community, but one of the things I think is her talent as an artist. And as an artist who can reflect community and work with the community to create this project. So, Lynn, if you would give us a few words.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to South Coast Serves for asking me and giving me the honor to participate in this project. It was exciting to meet with the dog tag navigators and members of the community to brainstorm ideas for the concept of this mural. I just put the picture on the panels. The whole community came together to help paint them. And to me, to meet the members of the community, they all came out to really lend a hand in such an important concept. So I was really excited to do that. One of the partners that I couldn't have done this without them was Youth Build. Eric Andrade, him and I were working till 8 o'clock at night getting this done. So I really want to introduce Eric Andrade, and he can talk a little bit about Youth Build's role in this. And thanks for letting me be involved.
Thank you very much. At Youth Build New Bedford, I am a program manager for an AmeriCorps program, or an AmeriCorps program. And as an AmeriCorps program, nationally, they requested that we reach out to veterans organizations and veterans and work on community service projects. Through the leadership of Marcus Houtman, we connected with the dog tag navigators in early July. We learned a great deal from these gentlemen that came in and worked with our youth and told us a little bit about the scenario and what's going on with veterans in our nation. And through that project, we decided to get involved as much as possible to support the needs of veterans. Veterans have served our nation, and as an AmeriCorps program manager, where we engage young people to commit to a year of service, what better way to commit service than to those that have served our country, in particular those in need. Veterans are, a group of individuals that risk their lives for our nation and signed up, and disproportionately, there's a lot of needs that they have. This project was an amazing opportunity. It wouldn't have happened without the support of Tion Pina and SYI program and other collaborative organizations that came forward on Saturday for Build a Bed, Keep a Vet Fed. The mayor extended the city's resources to us to allow this event to happen. We had a lot of community partners that supported it. So as Deidre was saying, it's about community coming together to support those veterans that did everything for us. So thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say that there were a number of people over the last year that we've been planning this event, and we planned it right here. It started right here on 9/11. Just briefly, we felt that the veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan were noticed but not particularly embraced when they got back. And us Vietnam veterans really were concerned about that, because when we came back, it wasn't so cool. But at any rate, I want to thank everyone involved. There are people not up here. There are people out in the audience. Reverend David Lima, thank you very much for showing. And I want to introduce a special guest who came here. The city cleared the way for us to put on this 3-day event, the first of its kind. And I want to introduce you a true friend of the veterans, Mayor John Mitchell.
Thank you, Cecil. Well, what a spectacular day, and we've been looking forward to this event for a while. As you've heard, this has been a great team effort. Lots of organizations and individuals have come together to make their mark. And you've heard some of them, the ones that were in the lead: Youth Build and South Coast Serves and the Military Museum, and of course Dog Tags. I want to thank Cecil for your leadership. It is especially heartening to me from where I sit as the chief executive of local government. Right? People look to government to solve problems, but ultimately will rise or fall depending on whether folks in the community that have no affiliation with government step forward to lead and solve problems together, hand in hand with government. And this is a great example of that. The government at every level supports veterans and is charged with supporting veterans. It is an imperative that was set down as far back as President Lincoln's second inaugural address, when he directed the country to care for him who shall have borne the battle. And that's what we're doing today. The battles are new. We live in a different age, but the imperative, the obligation is the same. And Cecil, and I will just say to everybody here who played a part in it, this is something that's very necessary. We honor our veterans, especially on this day, a day that looks so much like that day 13 years ago. Crystal clear skies, a beautiful late summer's day. And 13 years ago, everyone's lives were changed by the events that took place and have been taking place as a result over the last 13 years. The events that have unfolded since the 9/11 attacks are things that we're living with today and grappling with as recently as last night's speech by the president about how we're going to deal with matters in Syria and Iraq. All those things have been unfolding since 9/11, and so these are the problems of our day. And we can't deal with them properly, we can't deal with them effectively, we can't build a brighter future if it isn't for people stepping up in their own ways, whether it's to serve in the military, whether it's to to educate our children, whether it's to clean parks, whether it's to paint a mural for everybody to see and to set a great example. We all need to step up and serve. That's the way we pay tribute most emphatically to the service given by our first responders and our veterans in the years after 9/11. Let's do it in each in our own way. And I just want to say to all of you, too many to name, thank you for stepping up. You've made our community stronger. And let's use 9/11 and this event, this mural, as inspiration in the years to come. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, we want to get to the star of this event, and that's it's not a triptych, I guess. Is that the correct term?
Call it a triptych.
Okay. This is a 3-panel mural. The slogan you'll see was inspired by our co-founder, Mr. David Peters. One of the early murals that was done was made by Mr. Jesus Reyes, the photographic of it. There are many others to really thank, but I'd really like to thank the community for coming up and doing this particular mural. The idea of having the community help paint it and honor veterans is very special. So without further ado, let's get at it, all right? There you go. Painted by the community. Sometimes we forget that the people who are in the military are civilians. They grew up thinking about perhaps going into the military. And then they go into the military and they are serving. And then some of them are not doing too well, and that's who we honor tomorrow. The homeless veterans, the at-risk veterans, that will come and we'll give them free clothing, give them free food, things of that nature. I just want to outline some of the other 2 or 3 key people on the dog tags team. We have our treasurer, Anthony Tobby Richards. One of the invisible veterans. You really don't know Tobby, but some of you, many do. Iraq and Vietnam. Iraq and Vietnam. David Peters, a Coast Guard. I didn't know Coast Guards were in the new Vietnam area, but I guess we could call you a Blue Water Coast Guard guy. Saw combat in Vietnam. All right, where's my other? Is that a bit? David Antunes, that's right. David Antunes, he's Air Force, but you can forgive him for that.
And it's still on the air.
So John Clark is here. John Clark has had a very spectacular career. Thank you very much for your help. So that's the thing. I hope you come up and take a look at this particular triptych, or this 3-panel thing produced by UMass Dartmouth in collaboration with Youth Bill. It'll be going all over the place. We're going to show it around. All right? Thank you very much.
Excuse me, I'm so